Bitcoin has fallen below $75,000, and gold and silver, yes, they're also dropping lower and lower, and the futures in America are deep in the red as well. So I'd say that's a very, very good way to start the week, especially if you're currently short and haven't tried to keep riding the moon train. And yes, I hope things continue like this for now, and with that, a warm welcome. Welcome to a new crypto update video. Bitcoin is currently at $75,900. We had another sell-off last night during the Asia session. It wasn't really anything spectacular, 74,400. So we're approaching, or rather we're moving deeper and deeper into our buy zone at the moment. So that's looking very, very good. Altcoins are also losing more and more value. That's also a good sign. The dollar is extending its gains a bit again to the upside. Then the euro is weakening a bit, and USD JPY is also weakening, but it's all really not that complicated. We'll take a calm look at all of this now. Also where Bitcoin could still fall to, and of course also the altcoins, so definitely stay tuned until the end. But before we get started, as always, feel free to leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and if you're interested, feel free to join the free Telegram talk and Signal group. There you'll always get the latest information, including whenever I enter any trades or if anything changes with my positions, you'll be the first to know in this free group. The link for that is down in the video description. And last but not least, if you're looking for an exchange where you can trade everything we discuss here, whether it's Forex, stocks, or crypto, of course, you can do all of that on my partner, Exchange BigX, which you can trade on right now. So feel free to sign up using the link in the video description below and get up to $11,500 in bonuses. So let's dive into Bitcoin. $75,900. Yes, the Asia session continued to sell us off. That really wasn't surprising. I expected that, yes, yesterday when we talked on the stream, that Asia wouldn't just accept it and would also make this lower low here again. At the moment, our new Asia range is here between 78,100, an interesting point, and down here at $74,500. So in my opinion, that's the range that applies for this week. Now let's move up to a higher time frame, namely the weekly time frame. Where did we close? We formed a lower low. So that was a point yesterday where I also said that's personally important to me, that it's important to me because for the past weeks and months, I've only been bearish that we close below this mark of $78,000. Why? Or rather, here you have to do it like this. So $78,300. Why? Simply so that we have a lower low here. So the next point, which we've probably hit on some exchanges, is a lower low with the wick. We haven't really seen that just yet, but I can imagine that we'll see that in the next few hours or so. We'll probably get that in the next few days as well. We have a big fat red vector candle that we're keeping an eye on for the next few weeks. Then possible recovery point and new short entry. At the moment, even on the smaller time frames, I still assume that we should make another lower low. That means the liquidity from these lows that we had over here should just drop down another level. So everything between, let's say, 70 to 72,000, 73,000 US dollars would not surprise me at all at this point if we just drop down into that price range. Also, to pick up the liquidity from this vector candle, now I think you can see it better, from this vector candle that we still have over here, also on the daily chart. And after that, theoretically, I would say here you can still see the vector candle. We could theoretically see a small recovery to the upside. At first, at least, get started. That's roughly my plan for now. What is causing the current sell-off, actually? We talked about it in detail yesterday. In my opinion, a lot of it has to do with Kevin Walsh, the newly nominated Fed chairman, because he is pretty, let's say, bearish when it comes to liquidity. I mean, Powell is already strict and doesn't pump money into the markets endlessly, but Walsh is even stricter in that regard. Sure, he might be able to lower interest rates, but the market isn't expecting that at the moment, and that's what the market is currently pricing in. So we probably won't get a rate cut under Walsh either unless something fundamental changes. Last week, the PPI data went up, right? That means producer prices, which are in turn important for the producer prices. This week, the unemployment rate is also coming out. So this week, we're once again under a lot of pressure, especially when it comes to economic data. If we take a quick look, especially today, the ISM Purchasing Managers Index is also being released. You know what this chart is. It's the US real money supply. That's what we're watching. If it keeps falling, that's another negative sign for us, and we can probably safely assume that the market will just keep crashing further down. At the moment, as I said, we have room down to about 69,000 US dollars. This entire buy zone that's marked down here, where I've also bought more spot, is very, very crucial. We have a weekly vector candle that goes up to 84,000, which fits well too. Let's quickly take a look at the funding rates. They're slowly but surely going down a bit. That's a positive sign for now, but well, a lot of people have just gotten liquidated again. wrecked. We need to keep an eye on that a bit. We'll take another look at high block in a moment to see where the liquidity is. You can see this cluster here, 70,000 US dollars. That really stands out. And you might remember, anyone who watches the videos every day knows that we've been talking for weeks about the 70 to 72,000 range. That clusters keep popping up there for some strange reason. Now it's happening again, and this time it's very, very large. At the same time, I also want to show you this because I think I only briefly showed it in the Telegram group over the weekend. Let's take a look at the 2-year chart. This is really, really important now. We're going to remove the small orders and just look at the big ones, the really big orders, so we can see things a bit more clearly here. We can also see it down here. The next liquidation level is currently between $72,000 and $70,000. That means at the moment, that's kind of my maximum where I see us possibly heading in the next few days or even hours to soak up liquidity there and then maybe see a relief rally to the upside. The 49K down there or 48K. At the moment, I just don't see those levels yet. It's definitely way too early for that. First, there should at least be a relief rally to the upside. We're currently right in the middle of our C wave. It has now almost reached its best case scenario from 73,800 down to 70,000 US dollars. After that, the ABC would be completed perfectly according to the pattern. It has already been completed perfectly according to the pattern, but as things stand now, it could definitely drop another level. As I said, the funding rates are still definitely in positive territory. We have a lot of liquidations below us. Today we have important economic data in Asia, and the stock markets are currently reacting. So you see the pressure continues to build, and the markets, the stock markets, they're not even really crashed yet. So it's definitely going to be very, very exciting. But as I also said, I already have a 2 times long position open. As I said, 2 times, nothing much is really happening there in my opinion. So I would be liquidated at 39K. I don't expect that to happen at the moment, but the short is definitely still running as well. Nothing has changed there. Take profits, important. Take profits and wait. The Asia range will be very, very important this week. Let's move over to the altcoins. Ethereum has also started off this new trading week very, very well. We're still in my buy zone 1. You can see it over here. The ABC cluster, the 1.414 level was reached. The best case would be down here at $2,099. Or really in the absolute best case, $1,950, then we would also have an overextended ABC correction here. In my opinion, it looks very, very good. And the deeper we go here, the more we try over here to pick up this inefficiency or to pick up the vectors. That would also be great, of course, because then we would have basically filled this entire empty liquidation shelf for now. And from here, I would say we could start a new rally upwards. So you have to take something positive from the negative, or rather, take advantage of the opportunities. For weeks, months, we've really been in a bearish mode, and now it's finally paying off. So I hope everyone has a bit of cash set aside, or rather, yes, or is short. That would, of course, be even better at this point. I'm also curious to see how the ETFs might sell today. So not BlackRock, but the ETFs themselves, how massively they will sell. Because, as I said, I've already told you, Chinese speculators set the stage for the gold and silver crash. And if we take a quick look at this, markets fallout versus gold and silver extend road, and it's not a small amount. If we take a look at gold, $4,480 at the current level, that's really insane, truly insane. At the moment, what's happening with gold here, if we look at it from our top, from our all-time high down to now, gold is down 21%. And with silver, it's actually even worse. There we went from $122,000 down to now, at the peak even dropping by 40% within 2 or 3 days. And that's really abnormal. I'm curious to see how this will continue. We're slowly but surely approaching my buy zones. That means silver, especially down here at $61 to $58. If you can remember, we've had this zone open down here for a very, very long time, also because we have a nice vector candle down here. So this area right here, that's why it's also the buy zone. For now, we have a 50 EMA on the daily chart here. Rejected, which is a good sign. And with gold, it's basically the same story. Also the 50 daily. You have to keep an eye on it now, especially in the coming days. China wants to keep buying more and more gold. China also wants the yuan. Am I pronouncing that right? Yuan, I have no idea, to become a world currency. So they still have big plans. Still, gold and silver are currently taking quite a hit here. But as I said, we're slowly but surely approaching all my buy zones here. The ones we've been talking about for quite a while now. We've talked about them, but please be careful. Don't try to go long on this at all costs. There's also a lot going on behind the scenes there. Then USDJPY is still behaving according to the fractal. I don't want to do anything because someone asked yesterday if I had closed the position. No, I haven't. The position is still open, still secured with a stop loss at entry, and take profit has been set. Everything looks good. At the same time, the dollar is extending and the euro is giving way a bit. No problem at all. But if today, and this brings us right over to the traditional markets, if today we see any major sell-offs in the stock markets, we should keep an eye on that. At the moment, for example, we're seeing that yields on government bonds, the longer term ones are still at a high level, while the shorter term ones are dropping a bit. Still at too high a level, but if we take a quick look at the stock markets right now, the Dow Jones is dropping significantly at the start of trading at least. Let's switch to a 4-hour time frame. The futures are also dropping significantly. Okay, we're starting to see the first wave of selling. Nasdaq, okay, Palantir is releasing its numbers today. If those are ugly, well, good night, Nasdaq. Then S&P 500, same story, also dropping significantly. Our short is still running. I haven't changed anything there. The sell zone up here still applies. It's dumping down again, same thing as always. Let's see if we get a lower low now. That would be great. And the Russell is also starting to buckle slowly but surely. And that's exactly what I've been warning you about again and again over the past few weeks. When the Russell rises the way it has compared to the traditional markets, and that's the big difference, the traditional markets were moving sideways or only slightly down, but the Russell just keeps rising and rising and rising. And we have no volume in the regular indices. And now Russell is falling again because ultimately Russell is about short-term gains, small cap or low cap stocks. People go in quickly, go out quickly, take their profits and goodbye stock market, and are now basically waiting for both dips. Meanwhile, the volatility index is rising towards 21 points. That's a good sign. You can remember there are still massive short positions running on VIX here, at least from the commercials. Hedge funds are completely long here and are just waiting for this thing to explode. When it's high, buy. When it's low, slow down. I think that's pretty much how you can put it. No, just kidding. But yeah, definitely keep an eye on that. If we somehow get into the region of 30, things will get very, very interesting in the markets. At that point, Bitcoin will probably be well below 69K, and the stock markets will really take a nosedive. But all right, let's see what else happens today. I'm definitely hyped and excited, I have to admit, also because of gold and silver. But all right, let's see what else is coming our way. All right, that's it from my side for sure. As always, thank you for watching. As I said, feel free to leave a like. I'd be really happy if you subscribe to the channel. And otherwise, yeah, check out BingX. We'll catch up in the Telegram group. I wish you all a wonderful start and a successful trading week. Take profits on your shorts. Keep an eye on the charts a bit. Otherwise, we'll hear from each other again, yeah, at the latest tomorrow. Until then, ciao, ciao, and as always, stay crypt.